Forget what you've seen on food blogs and travel shows. That's the sanitized, tourist-friendly version of American food. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal the real America, the one that dips its pickles in Kool-Aid and puts mayonnaise in its chocolate cake. We've compiled 101 pieces of evidence that prove when it comes to eating, Americans operate with zero rules and even less shame. 1. Let's kick things off with a sandwich that sounds like a dare: peanut butter and pickles. The salty, briny crunch of a dill pickle smashed together with sweet, creamy peanut butter. This isn't just a snack, it's a culinary statement that says, I'm not afraid of anything. 2. You know that feeling when you're eating McDonald's fries and you think, these are good but they could be colder and sweeter? No? Well, some Americans do. They take those hot, salty fries and plunge them directly into a McFlurry or a milkshake. It's the ultimate sweet and salty hack. 3. At some point, an American hero looked at a cheeseburger and thought, the bun is holding this back. So they replaced it with 2 glazed donuts. The Luther burger is a greasy, sugary, beefy monstrosity that answers a question nobody was brave enough to ask. 4. Let's take a trip back in time to when Jell-O wasn't just for dessert. We're talking savory gelatin salads. Imagine lime Jell-O, shimmering and green, but suspended within its depths are chunks of tuna, olives, and maybe some celery. It's a dish that truly makes you appreciate modern food safety. 5. In a triumph of science over nature, America invented cheese that comes out of a can. Easy cheese is a pressurized, cheese-like substance you spray onto crackers. It's a food that requires zero chewing effort and has the shelf life of a geological era. 6. Welcome to the State Fair, where the laws of physics and nutrition are merely suggestions. Here, you'll find the legend itself: deep-fried butter. A whole stick of butter, battered and plunged into boiling oil until it's a golden brown, heart-stopping lava ball of fat. 7. Here's a modern masterpiece born from a late-night craving and a complete lack of shame: Flamin' Hot Cheetos dipped in cream cheese. The violent, mouth-numbing spice of the Cheeto is instantly extinguished by the cool, gentle creaminess of the cheese. It makes no sense, yet it's perfect. 8. We have to talk about the banana and mayonnaise sandwich on soft white bread. It's not a myth, it's not a joke. This is lunch for a shocking number of Southerners. It's the culinary equivalent of a dare from your weird uncle that somehow turned into a regional tradition. 9. Why use your oven like a normal person when you have a perfectly good dishwasher? Some resourceful Americans cook entire meals like salmon by wrapping them in foil and running them through a hot wash cycle. It's efficient, it's sterile, and it's completely unhinged. 10. In Utah, they've perfected the art of the dirty soda. You take a perfectly good soda, like Coke or Dr. Pepper, and then you add coffee creamer, coconut syrup, and a squeeze of lime. It's a beverage that's also a science experiment and a cry for attention. 11. A standard pickle is supposed to be green, crunchy, and sour. But in the Mississippi Delta, they looked at that and said, we can make it weirder. Meet the Kool-Aid pickle, or Koolickle. They soak dill pickles in hyper-sweet Kool-Aid until they turn bright red or blue and taste like a sugary, vinegary fever dream. 12. Here's a psychological attack on your taste buds. Imagine being handed what looks like a perfect little cupcake, complete with fluffy white frosting. You take a bite, expecting vanilla sweetness, but instead, you get meatloaf. It's a baked meatloaf muffin with mashed potatoes piped on top like frosting. A true culinary betrayal. 13. Now, let's head to the Midwest for a dish that is the undisputed king of church potlucks: the tater tot hot dish. It's a layered casserole of ground beef, canned vegetables, and a creamy, gelatinous sauce made from canned soup. The entire thing is then paved over with a perfect, golden brown crust of tater tots. 14. Sometimes a trend is so dumb it becomes brilliant. Thanks to TikTok, thousands of Americans spent a summer squirting bright yellow mustard all over slices of fresh, juicy watermelon. The logic? The vinegar enhances the sweetness. The reality? It looks like someone lost a bet at a picnic. 15. This next one is a ghost from the potlucks of the 1960s: ambrosia salad. It's called a salad, but it contains no lettuce, no vegetables, and no dignity. It's a bizarre concoction of canned mandarin oranges, mini marshmallows, coconut flakes, and pineapple, all suspended in a sweet mixture of sour cream or Cool Whip. 16. In Fall River, Massachusetts, they looked at a hamburger bun and thought, you know what this needs? More carbs. So they invented the chow mein sandwich. It's a heap of crispy fried chow mein noodles drenched in a thick, brown gravy, all served between two halves of a soft bun. It's a textural enigma. 17. Some flavor pairings are subtle. This is not one of them. Say hello to the Snickle, a hollowed-out dill pickle stuffed with a whole Snickers bar. It's a viral sensation that combines the sour brine of the pickle with the chocolate, caramel, and nougat of the candy bar. Why? Because the internet. 18. This one comes straight from military mess halls. It's affectionately known as SOS, which stands for, well, shit on a shingle. It's a humble dish of chipped beef, rehydrated and served in a thick, creamy white gravy, poured over a simple piece of toast. It's ugly, but for many veterans it's pure nostalgia. 19. Just when you thought the bacon trend had finally peaked, the State Fair came back with this heavyweight champion, bacon-wrapped Oreos. They take the iconic cookie, wrap it in a slice of bacon, and fry it until the bacon is crispy and its salty fat has soaked deep into the chocolate cookie and its creme filling. 20. Born from pure necessity and ingenuity within the prison system, we have spread. It's a catch-all term for a communal meal made from commissary items. Picture this: crushed ramen noodles, crumbled Doritos, a squeezed-out summer sausage, and water, all mixed in a clean trash bag. It's a grim but fascinating example of making a meal out of literally anything. 21. Okay, fast food veterans, you already know about this one. It's the off-menu monster known as the McGangbang. You order a McDouble and a McChicken, open up the burger, and shove the entire chicken sandwich inside. It's a user-created tower of processed meat that McDonald's would never dare to advertise. 22. In the 1960s, Kraft Foods unironically published a recipe for something called Jell-O pizza. It wasn't pizza-flavored Jell-O. It was a pizza with a crust made of seasoned tomato Jell-O, chilled until firm, and then topped with things like olives and processed cheese. Some ideas deserve to stay in the past. 23. Why spend money on expensive lasagna noodles when you have instant ramen? That's the logic behind ramen lasagna. It's a new-age struggle meal where you layer bricks of uncooked ramen with pasta sauce, ricotta, and mozzarella. Then bake it until it becomes a single, starchy, cheesy block of fusion cuisine. 24. There's a wellness trend that involves starting your day by putting a giant slab of grass-fed butter and a splash of coconut oil into your coffee and blending it. It's called bulletproof coffee, and people swear it gives them mental clarity and boundless energy. Everyone else just calls it a heart attack in a mug. 25. And for our grand finale of excess, why choose between a pizza and a cheeseburger? Pizza Hut once released a pizza where the entire outer crust was stuffed with individual cheeseburgers. It's not just a meal, it's a monument to American food anarchy, proving that if you can dream it, you can probably deep fry it or stuff it in a crust. 26. Let's start with a regional delicacy that's slowly vanishing, probably for the best. In parts of Indiana and the Ohio Valley, you could once easily order a fried brain sandwich. Yes, you heard me. Sliced and fried calf or pig brains, slapped on a bun, usually with mustard and onions. It's a dish that really makes you think. 27. Head over to Hawaii, and you'll find a snack that's a local treasure but a mainland mystery. Spam musubi. It's a block of grilled, caramelized spam, sitting on a bed of rice and wrapped in a strip of seaweed like a piece of sushi's weird, processed meat cousin. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Or do. It's your life. 28. This one is a staple in the vegan health food world. When you can't have cheese on your popcorn, you use nutritional yeast, or nooch. It looks like yellow fish food and is said to taste cheesy and nutty. In reality, it's like sprinkling crushed vitamin tablets over your snack and calling it dinner. 29. Speaking of health, bodybuilders and Rocky Balboa devotees have been doing this for decades, dropping raw eggs into coffee or smoothies. It's a slippery, salmonella-flavored gamble disguised as a protein boost, like playing Russian roulette with breakfast. 30. In the South, there's a beloved holiday tradition for making ham. Instead of a normal glaze made of honey or mustard, they just pour an entire can of Coca-Cola over it and let it bake. The massive amount of sugar in the soda caramelizes into a sweet, dark, surprisingly delicious crust. 31. Picture this. Your friend brings a beautiful tiered cake to a party. It's perfectly round, with a lovely off-white frosting. You cut a slice, take a bite, and realize it's not cake, it's a bologna cake. Layers of sliced bologna, frosted with cream cheese or cheese whiz, and garnished with olives. This isn't just a dish, it's a trust exercise. 32. Walk into any old-school dive bar in certain parts of America, and you might see a giant dusty jar on the counter. Inside, you'll find pale, ghostly pig's feet floating in a cloudy brine. Pickled pig's feet are a classic bar snack, combining the chewy texture of cartilage with the sharp tang of vinegar. 33. This is a classic college dorm survival meal. No microwave, no stove. No problem, as long as you have a coffee maker. You just brew a pot of hot water, pour it over a block of instant ramen in the carafe, and let it steep. It's a sad beige meal born of pure desperation and genius. 34. Why use boring breadcrumbs when you can use the king of junk food? Many American home cooks have discovered the glory of Doritos-crusted chicken. You just smash up a bag of nacho cheese Doritos, coat your chicken in the orange dust, and bake it into an aggressive, cheesy, crunchy armor. 35. Here's a dessert that looks completely inedible but is actually delicious. It's called dirt pudding, or sometimes just dirt. It's a layered dessert made with crushed Oreo cookies for the soil, chocolate pudding for the mud, and gummy worms crawling out of the top. It's the one time you're allowed to tell kids to eat dirt. 36. Let's move from food to a bizarre drinking ritual, the pickleback. It's simple. You take a shot of whiskey, usually a cheap one, and immediately chase it with a shot of straight pickle brine from the jar. It sounds disgusting, but the brine magically neutralizes the whiskey burn. It's a scientific miracle of the bar scene. 37. In the endless search for a miracle health cure, America briefly went insane for celery juice. Not eating celery, not adding it to a smoothie, just drinking massive quantities of straight, unadulterated blended celery. The taste is exactly what you'd expect. Bitter, salty, stringy water that promises to cleanse your soul. 38. Let's go way back to the original American survival food. Pemmican was the original protein bar, invented by Native Americans and adopted by fur traders. It's a calorie-dense brick made of dried meat powder, rendered animal fat, and sometimes dried berries. It tastes like history and can last for decades. 39. In parts of Appalachia, a secret ingredient for a killer pork marinade isn't soy sauce or vinegar. It's Mountain Dew, the neon green soda that could strip paint. It tenderizes the meat while adding enough sugar to keep you awake for the rest of the decade. 40. And we'll end with a modern health food tragedy, the first generation of vegan cheese. It was a product that promised the joy of cheese without the dairy, but delivered the texture of a rubber eraser, refused to melt under any circumstance, and carried the faint, sad taste of nutritional yeast and broken dreams. 41. Some burger joints looked at the classic cheeseburger and thought, it's good, but it's not confusing enough. Behold, the peanut butter and bacon burger. It's a savory beef patty, salty bacon, and a thick smear of creamy peanut butter. It's the burger that can't decide if it wants to be dinner or a PB&J sandwich. 42. Here's a beverage that proudly wears its identity in its name. Clamato. It's a commercial blend of tomato juice concentrate and clam broth. Because apparently, when you're drinking tomato juice, the one thing you're really missing is the distinct, salty essence of shellfish. It's the official juice of questionable life choices. 43. We've covered deep-fried butter. But at the state fair, they asked, how can we fry a flavor? The answer is deep-fried Kool-Aid. They mix the brightly colored sugary powder into a batter, fry it into little donut holes, and then sprinkle more powder on top. It's a chemical burn you can eat. 44. This is a dish that makes every Italian grandmother weep. We're talking about spaghetti, but instead of a rich marinara sauce, it's just covered in Heinz ketchup. It's the ultimate American college student struggle meal, an act of culinary desperation that says, I have pasta, and I have a condiment. Let's do this. 45. Walk into any old-school American diner, and you'll find the final boss of the menu: liver and onions. The texture is soft and metallic, the onions are sweet, and together they're either comfort food from your childhood or a chewable reminder that life is sometimes cruel. 46. In New England, there is a beloved children's sandwich that sounds like a cry for sugar: the fluffernutter. It's just two slices of white bread, one side with peanut butter, the other with a thick layer of marshmallow fluff. It's essentially a candy bar masquerading as a sandwich. 47. Let's travel to Alaska for a traditional dish called akutak, which adorably translates to Eskimo ice cream. But this isn't your typical dessert. It's made from whipped animal fat, like reindeer or seal fat, mixed with berries, and sometimes for extra protein, ground up fish. Sweet, right? 48. Just when you thought butter and coffee was the peak of weird breakfast trends, TikTok arrived with this monstrosity: mayonnaise in your coffee. People claim the oils in the mayo create a creamy, frothy texture similar to a latte. Is this food innovation or just a society losing its collective mind? 49. In the canned goods aisle, you'll find a tiny tin of smoked oysters. Pry it open, and you'll discover a dozen or so gray, shriveled little things swimming in oil. They look like tiny, petrified alien creatures and are usually eaten on a saltine cracker, often with a dash of hot sauce to mask the existential dread. 50. Welcome to Water Talk, a corner of the internet where plain water is considered boring. Here, people create gourmet water by mixing a cocktail of sugar-free syrups and flavor powders into a giant tumbler until it tastes like a melted-down unicorn. It's hydration, but with the soul of a chemistry set. 51. For the true culinary daredevil, there's the simple but terrifying combination of vanilla ice cream and hot sauce. It's a full-on sensory assault. Your tongue is hit with the sweet, freezing cold of the ice cream and the spicy, vinegary burn of the hot sauce at the exact same time. 52. This recipe sounds like a prank from the 1950s that never died. Tomato soup cake. It's a spice cake, but the secret ingredient for moisture and a hint of tang is a can of Campbell's condensed tomato soup. It doesn't taste like tomatoes, but knowing it's in there is its own special kind of psychological thriller. 53. Some people wake up and choose chaos. They do this by spreading a thick layer of lumpy, wet cottage cheese onto a perfectly good piece of dry, crunchy toast. It's a textural war in your mouth, often topped with black pepper, just to add another layer of confusion to your morning. 54. The chaotic energy of a Taco Bell at 1 a.m. has produced some true masterpieces. One of the greatest is dipping a sweet, airy cinnamon twist into the warm, salty, plasticky goo of the nacho cheese sauce. It's a combination that's so wrong, it loops all the way back around to being so right. 55. In Cincinnati, they have a breakfast food called Gouda. It's a sausage-like loaf made from ground pork, beef, and steel-cut oats. They slice it, fry it until it's crispy, and serve it next to eggs. It's basically a hybrid of meatloaf and porridge, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. 56. In Rochester, New York, they've perfected the art of the post-bar meal with a dish proudly called the garbage plate. It's a chaotic pile of macaroni salad, home fries, and your choice of meat, all buried under mustard, onions, and a spicy, meaty hot sauce. It's not food. It's an edible train wreck. 57. Let's take a trip back to the Great Depression, when creativity was born from scarcity. This gave us the vinegar pie. With no access to expensive fruits like lemons, resourceful home bakers used apple cider vinegar, sugar, and butter to create a sweet and tangy custard pie that surprisingly doesn't taste like a salad dressing. 58. In the South, a popular roadside snack is boiled peanuts. Forget everything you know about a crunchy peanut. These are slow-boiled in salty water until they're soft, briny, and bean-like. Eating one feels like biting into a peanut's ghost. 59. From the golden age of questionable dinner parties, the 1960s, comes the shimmering horror of a savory aspic. Imagine a Jell-O mold, But instead of fruit, it's filled with things like shrimp, hard-boiled eggs, and olives, all suspended in a translucent, jiggly, meat-flavored gelatin. 60. For a brief, glorious period, KFC decided that bread was for quitters. They unleashed the Double Down, a bacon and cheese sandwich where the buns were replaced with 2 thick fillets of fried chicken. It was less a sandwich and more a greasy monument to American ingenuity. 61. Ask any military veteran about MREs, and they'll tell you about the crackers. Officially called carbohydrate-enriched crackers, they were dense, dry, and so hard they were nicknamed brick bread or John Wayne crackers. The ultimate survival food, capable of surviving anything except human teeth. 62. In communities with strong Scandinavian roots, especially in Minnesota, you'll find a Christmas tradition called lutefisk. It's dried whitefish that has been soaked in lye, a caustic chemical, to rehydrate it. The result is a gelatinous, translucent fish fillet that smells unique. It's a food that requires courage. 63. Here is a secret ingredient that Southern grandmothers have sworn by for generations: mayonnaise in their chocolate cake. A scoop of full-fat mayo in the batter is said to create an incredibly moist, rich cake. You can't taste the mayo, but you know it's there, watching, waiting. 64. At the bottom shelf of any forgotten grocery aisle sits a small, unassuming can labeled potted meat food product. What's inside? It's a finely ground, pinkish paste made from various mystery meat trimmings. The term food product is a legal distinction because it doesn't meet the standards to be called meat. 65. Back to the state fair, where if an animal exists, someone has probably tried to fry it. In places like Texas and Arizona, you can find a basket of deep-fried rattlesnake. It's usually served chopped up into little nuggets, and yes, people swear it tastes just like chicken. A very angry, venomous chicken. 66. The Midwest has a special casserole for every occasion, including the most somber ones. Meat funeral potatoes. It's a rich, creamy dish of shredded potatoes, cheese, and sour cream, baked into a casserole and topped with a crunchy layer of crushed cornflakes. It's the official comfort food of grieving. 67. You'll find these floating in murky jars at gas stations and dive bars across the country. Pickled sausages. They're fat, suspiciously bright red sausages, pickled in a vinegar brine. They require no refrigeration and have a rubbery, tangy bite. Have you ever been brave enough to try one? 68. Now, for a dessert that sounds like a typo. Velveeta fudge. Yes, that Velveeta. The block of bright orange, pasteurized prepared cheese product. There are countless recipes that combine melted Velveeta with chocolate, butter, and sugar to create a fudge that is reportedly very smooth, creamy, and deeply unsettling. 69. This one comes from Alaska and northern Canada, but its weirdness is world-class. It's jellied moose nose. The entire upper jawbone of the moose is boiled until the hairs can be plucked and the nose becomes tender. Then, the meat is sliced and set in a broth that gels into a loaf. 70. And finally, a dish of profound simplicity and sadness: buttered noodles. It's not a side dish. For millions of Americans, it's the whole meal. Just boiled pasta, a lump of butter, maybe some salt. It's the official meal of, I've had a long day and I have officially given up. And honestly, it's kind of perfect. 71. Brace yourself. This is the Twinkie Wiener Sandwich. It is a hot dog, nestled inside a Twinkie for a bun, and often topped with a squirt of easy cheese. It's a culinary fever dream from a forgotten movie that some people decided to bring into the real world, to the horror of us all. 72. In most of America, barbecue sauce is red and sweet. But in Alabama, they have a curveball: Alabama white sauce. It's a tangy, horseradish-heavy mayo sauce they pour on chicken. Imagine ranch dressing with a mean streak and a southern accent. 73. Imagine you're eating a delicious slice of apple pie, but then you're told there are no apples in it. This is mock apple pie, a Depression-era masterpiece of delicious fraud. The apples are just Ritz crackers, soaked in lemon juice and sugar syrup until they mimic the texture of cooked fruit. 74. This is an old-timer bar trick that persists to this day. A dash of salt in a glass of beer. Some say it smooths the bitterness. Others say it's just a clever ploy to make you thirstier. Either way, it's a magic trick that turns cheap beer into slightly saltier, cheap beer. 75. In the canned goods aisle, you'll find them. Those tiny, unsettlingly smooth Vienna sausages packed upright in a can of gelatinous broth. People slide them out and eat them cold. They're like little meat fingers, a perfect portable snack if you've completely lost your will to live. 76. In Texas, the secret to award-winning baked beans isn't brown sugar or molasses. It's a can of Dr. Pepper. The 23 mysterious flavors of the soda are said to add a complex, sweet, and tangy depth to the beans that no other ingredient can replicate. 77. Here's a recent TikTok trend that truly tests your faith in humanity: dropping dill pickles into a cup of Sprite. Yes, letting them float around in the fizzy, sweet lemon-lime soda. Enthusiasts claim it creates a sweet and sour, electrolytic drink. Everyone else calls it spa water for anarchists. 78. Let's play a game. You're at a Rust Belt diner and you order the city chicken. A plate arrives with what looks like fried chicken drumsticks. You take a bite, but it's not chicken. It's chunks of pork and veal, skewered onto a stick to look like a chicken leg, then breaded and fried. A Depression-era lie we still tell ourselves. 79. Behold the walking taco, the undisputed champion of school carnivals and Midwest sporting events. You take a snack-sized bag of Doritos or Fritos, crush the chips inside, and then ladle in taco meat, cheese, and sour cream. It's a deconstructed taco served in its own wrapper. Genius that requires no dishes. 80. It looks like wallpaper paste, and its nickname is SOS. But for millions of Americans, cream-chipped beef on toast is the ultimate comfort food. It's salty, dried beef reconstituted in a thick, creamy white gravy and poured over a simple piece of toast. It's a breakfast that sticks to your ribs and your soul. 81. In Utah, the single most important condiment is fry sauce. To an outsider, it looks like someone just mixed ketchup and mayonnaise. And that's exactly what it is. But the fierce local pride and the precise debated ratios make this simple pink sauce an iconic part of the state's identity. 82. There are two types of creamed corn in this world. The delicious kind made with fresh corn and cream, and the other kind. The kind from a can. It's a soupy, pale yellow slurry that has the texture of baby food and the faint, sweet memory of corn. It's a vegetable that has completely given up. 83. On Thanksgiving. Tables across the country lies a baffling dish: candied yams with marshmallows. They take a perfectly good sweet potato, mash it with sugar and butter, and then bake it with a thick blanket of melted, gooey marshmallows on top. It's a vegetable dish pretending to be a s'more. 84. Here's a breakfast sauce born from pure Southern resourcefulness: red-eye gravy. After frying a country ham, you deglaze the pan not with wine or broth, but with leftover black coffee. The result is a thin, salty, caffeinated gravy that's poured over ham and biscuits to jolt you awake. 85. A favorite snack in the low-carb community is pork rinds, which are just deep-fried pig skins. But the real weirdness comes from what they dip them in. Picture taking a light, airy piece of fried skin and plunging it into a thick glob of sour cream or nacho cheese. It's a symphony of crunch and questionable choices. 86. Let's head to the Pacific Northwest for a creature that looks like it came from another planet: the geoduck clam. It's a massive, strangely shaped clam that is often served as sashimi. You're essentially eating a raw, crunchy, slightly sweet piece of something that looks completely inappropriate. 87. This one is a simple, old-school comfort food that sounds like a mistake: crumbled saltines in cold milk, eaten with a spoon like cereal. It's Depression-era survival in a bowl, an edible time machine to when breakfast was whatever you could find in the pantry. 88. Welcome to the world of Profi, a fitness trend where people dump a scoop of chalky, artificially flavored protein powder into their morning coffee. The result is often a lumpy, lukewarm brew that tastes vaguely like a melted-down birthday cake and regret. 89. We have to honor the undisputed king of struggle meals, the ketchup sandwich. It is exactly what it sounds like. 2 slices of the cheapest white bread you can find, with a smear of ketchup in the middle. It's a dish that embodies both profound sadness and the will to survive. 90. In New England, you can buy bread that comes in a can. B&M Brown. Bread is a dark molasses-sweetened bread that slides out of the can in a perfect ridged cylinder. It's often served with baked beans and hot dogs, because at that point, why not? 91. Imagine it's Thanksgiving. The centerpiece is brought to the table, a golden brown glistening turkey. You carve into it, but it's not meat. It's tofurkey. A loaf of seasoned tofu, often with a weird stuffing inside, pretending to be a bird. It's the ultimate culinary imposter. 92. Let's talk about a salad named after a political scandal. Watergate salad. It's a fluffy, pale green concoction of pistachio pudding, canned pineapple, Cool Whip, and mini marshmallows. There's nothing healthy about it, and its connection to Watergate is a complete mystery, just like the salad itself. 93. This is a delicacy born from pure, unadulterated laziness. You take a slice of American cheese, put it on a plate, microwave it for 30 seconds until it becomes a bubbly, greasy, crispy-edged lava pool, and then eat it with a fork. It's a meal that has completely abandoned pretense. 94. Every Halloween, America reignites a civil war over a single candy corn. A waxy, tri-colored pyramid of sugar that tastes vaguely of honey, vanilla, and plastic. You either passionately love it or believe it's an inedible disgrace to the candy aisle. There is no middle ground. 95. In the Midwest, they have a drink called red beer or tomato beer. It's a cheap lager mixed with tomato juice. A lazy man's Bloody Mary that somehow tastes like both brunch and a barbecue gone wrong. 96. For a glorious, horrifying moment in 2021, Frito-Lay actually sold Cheetos that were flamin' hot lemonade flavor. It was a snack that combined the aggressive spice of Cheetos with the sweet, tart flavor of powdered lemonade mix. Some ideas are so bad, they become legendary. 97. Let's talk about Moxie, the official soft drink of Maine. It tastes like root beer colliding with bitter herbal medicine. Locals swear by it. Outsiders swear at it. Drinking one is less about refreshment and more about proving you can. 98. In Vermont and parts of New England, there's a tradition that shocks outsiders, serving a slice of warm apple pie with a sharp slice of cheddar cheese melted on top. It's the perfect harmony of sweet, savory, flaky, and tangy. Don't knock it till you've tried it. 99. We thought we'd seen it all with TikTok trends. Then came this. People taking an Oreo cookie, scraping out the cream, and replacing it with a squirt of bright yellow mustard. It is a flavor combination so vile, so nonsensical, that it exists only to prove that we can. 100. Walk up to any hot dog stand in Chicago and ask for a hot dog dragged through the garden. You'll get a steamed beef frank on a poppy seed bun, loaded with yellow mustard, chopped onions, bright green relish, a dill pickle spear, tomato slices, sport peppers, and a dash of celery salt. It's a hot dog that thinks it's a salad. 101. And finally, the undisputed heavyweight champion of American excess. A dish that embodies the spirit of because we can, more than any other. The turducken. It is a deboned chicken stuffed inside a deboned duck, which is then stuffed inside a deboned turkey. It's a matryoshka doll of poultry, a meat monolith that's a testament to a nation that will always find a way to stuff more food inside of other food. All right, we've laid out 101 exhibits of culinary chaos, but now the spotlight is on you. Don't even try to pretend you're innocent. We all have that one disgusting, shameful food combination we secretly make when nobody's watching. That thing you wouldn't even admit to your dog. The comment section is now a confessional. I want you to expose your single weirdest food sin. No holding back. Let's see who's the biggest food degenerate here. And while you're airing your dirty laundry, hit that like button and subscribe for more proof that normal is just a setting on a washing machine.